the days gone by, our school was just a simple one. Now we close to greater heights, with a symbol that will ever shine. We give a toast to mentors here who works to make the NEUST. Oh, here is the country's pride, the NEUST. It strives through all the years, let's forever be loyal and true. Oh, here is the nation's call for better you tomorrow. Hail to dear alma mater, let us all work with a might. Keep achieving for the glory of the Levi's University of Science and Technology. Oh, here is the country's pride, the NEUST. It strives through all the years, let's forever be loyal and true. Oh, here is the nation's call for better you tomorrow. Hail to dear alma mater, let us all work with a might. Keep achieving for the glory of the Levi's University of Science and Technology.
Our ever-loving Father, the core of every reason, the source of truth. You who made the earth and the heavens are the ultimate goal of every knowledge seekers, the infinite wisdom, the cause of all that is good. We are truly grateful for this opportunity to gather together as a community despite the challenges we face each day. Yet you remained and gave us strength to carry on the responsibilities of bearing intelligence and using them for better purposes. We now humbly ask you to join us in our endeavor to explore the wonders of life in the world for knowledge's sake, that in whatever we learn today, we become more grounded to you, who is truth, who is love. We pray that you bless our speakers, the fount of your infinite knowledge, that they can share something worthwhile despite the limited time we have. They can channel all they know and share to us the beauty and truth of living as your child. We pray that you guide our participants, the seekers of your boundless knowledge, that they may continue to persevere in the search and be deemed worthy to share what they learn from today's session. Sanctify us, O Lord, not because we are worthy of it, but because we believe in your love and mercy, that at the end of the day, we can take home something that's amazing and meaningful. This we ask and pray through Christ our Lord. Amen.
You've got to find what you love. And the only way to be truly satisfied is to love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking and don't settle.
Passion is not a plan. It's a feeling. It is the full force of your attention and energy that you give to whatever's right in front of you. The fire that ignites when you start rubbing sticks together.
You are your Michelangelo. You are your greatest sculpture. And you get to recarve and you get to up-level as much as you need. And what I love about that is that you get to design it any way you choose. What do you want and how do you want it? And if it doesn't make you a little afraid, then you ain't playing big enough.
Become so skilled, so vigilant, so flat out fantastic at what you do that your talent cannot be dismissed. You're only on this planet to be you, not someone else's imitation of you.
My fondest wish for each and every one of you young people here today is that you will find something in your life worth fighting for, because when you do, all of humanity will have discovered fire for the second time. It is my profound wish that the light from that fire will illuminate your path to that place where the heart is without fear and the head is held high.
I stand here in my greatness. I own my light. I own my brilliance. I am bold. I am courageous. I'm perfect in my imperfection. This is my time. This is my time. I'm bright enough. I am ready.
Shine bright like a diamond. 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 Fine light in the beautiful sea. I chose to be happy. You and I, you and I.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Let me begin this by giving you a warm welcome to our webinar entitled Igniting the Spirit of Professionalism as we motivate and empower ourselves to become a professional. By the way, I am Joseph Neil R. Camargo, and fresh, I will be your one-up MCs today.
Partner, title pa lang ulam na. And ako naman si Usual Martinez, also fresh. And gusto ko yung title ng webinar natin today. It really makes me more curious about it. How about you, partner? Wait, may isa pa tayong partner.
What's up, dear viewers? I'm Ariana Julian Cordoba, AJ for short and cute. Likewise nga mga partner, hindi na ako mapakali dito. I am super excited sa mga magiging guest natin ngayon kasi bali-balita ko na bukod silang pinagpala sa lahat, as in from head to toe. Naman partner, wala.
Sure ka ba dyan, partner?
I'm sure pag nakilala natin sila isa-isa, isang salita lamang masasabi natin.
What is it, partner? Mukhang kinabahan yata ako dyan, ha?
Sana all. Partner, di ba 2 words yun? Sana all.
Alam mo, partner, minsan talaga hindi ako naniniwala sa mga sinasabi niyan eh. Kaya nga nagkakaroon ako ng mga trust issue sa kanya.
Partner, matanong ko lang. Nakainom ka na ba ng gamot mo?
Bad news. Naubos na.
Eh, kaya naman pala, partner.
Okay lang yan, partner. Alam mo, balita ko naman, rabies free siya eh.
Truth.
Pero mainam na rin ang nag-iingat. Pero eto na guys, ready na ba kayo?
Saan?
I am super excited na nga, partner. I think it's about time to introduce our first speaker.
Wait. Wala akong alam yan.
Partner, huwag mo namang iphalata na hindi tayo nakapag-rehearsan.
Okay, Let's proceed na. Hayaan na natin siya. Mamaya ka sa akin, partner.
So, dear viewers, do
Okay.
you want to become a professional or you are a professional wannabe? If that's the case, isn't it the right time to make your dreams come true? Because today, we are talking about professionalization. And I guess you are waiting for this time to come. Lucky you!
My question is, are you guys ready? What should you know? What should you know if you want to be one of them? Why do we want to be a professional? And lastly, how to be a professional.
Naalala ko na. So, bago ang lahat, let us hear some words from our very important guest. And I mean, sobrang blessed natin today kasi makakasama natin siya, partner. And I think it's time na din para ipakilala natin siya.
Okay, partner, ito na nga. I am delighted to introduce you our first speaker. He is truly kind and a cheerful person, and it's a pleasure for me to introduce him. Mr. Dairi.
A round of applause, please.
Good day, magandang buhay, magandang araw, Co-Ed 1B. So first, let's define what is professionalism. Professionalism, according to Virginia Tech, is the conduct, behavior, and attitude of someone in a work or business environment. A person doesn't have to work in a specific profession to demonstrate the important qualities and characteristic of a professional. So, professionalism leads to a workplace success, a strong professional reputation, and high level of work ethic and excellence. In a recent study on career readiness conducted by NACE or National Association of Colleges and Employers, employers who hire college graduates were asked which professional competencies were essential to workplace success. So, professionalism or work ethic topped the list with the 97.5%. So, ganun siya kataas of respondents identifying it as either absolutely essential or essential for a new college hire success. So, here are the some ways that you can develop or practice professionalism. So, una dyan, so first, be productive. So, when we say be productive, use your time productively at work. Focus on your job responsibilities and avoid getting pulled into a social media, web browsing, and phone activity while on the clock. So, kapag nagtatrabaho ka, iwasan mo yung pag-ML or yung pag-browse mo sa social media. Ganun lang yun kasimple. So, next, develop a professional image. So, paano ba itong tinatawag na develop a professional image? Project a professional presence and dress appropriately for your industry and organization. For example, me, as a teacher, meron akong tato, pero paano ako magiging presentable sa harap ng mga mag-aaral? So, ginagawa ko, nagde-dress ako ng kagalang-galang. So, maganda sa paningin. Yung hindi makikita yung tattoo ko. So, yun yung tinatawag na develop a professional image. So, a good rule of thumb is to dress in the position you aspire to have. So, next, we have the maintain effective work habits. So, paano to? Prioritize, plan, and manage your assignments and projects. So, follow up and follow through with your supervisor and team members. So next, we have the manage your time efficiently. So, establish priorities, set goals, and create action plans to meet deadlines. So, dito kadalasan, so kailangan natin yung mag-establish tayo ng mga priorities natin. Yung kailangan nating matapos para makakreate tayo ng action plan to meet the deadline. Sabi nga. So, demonstrate integrity. Ano ba yung tinatawag na integrity or integridad. So, be accountable for your work and actions while behaving ethically at all times. So, dapat accountable ka sa lahat ng gagawin mo, sa lahat ng magiging action mo sa organization nyo. So, next, we have the provide excellence. So, produce work and results that reflect a sense of pride and professionalism, often exceeding expectation. So, last na maibibigay ko sa inyo na way para maging professional. So, develop self-awareness. So, paano to? Paano yung pagde-develop ng self-awareness? So, learn to manage your emotions and gain awareness of your emotional triggers so you can manage your reactions positively and productively. Accept and reflect on feedback to assist as you learn and grow. For example, halimbawa, si ganito, yung katrabaho mo, may narinig ka na hindi ka nais-nais na sinasabi para sa'yo. Then, kailangan mo ba agad na mag-react? Susugurin mo ba yung kasama mo? So, para magkaroon ng away or komosyon. So, sabi dito, learn to manage your emotions. So, maging mahinahon ka, alamin mo muna kung totoo ba yung naririnig mo na about sa'yo or sabi-sabi lang. So, para hindi ma-trigger yung emotion mo, para makapag-create ka pa rin or makakagawa ka pa rin ng tama na positibo para sa organization nyo.
So, palakpakan naman natin siya. Thank you for sharing with us, Mr. Tristan Dairit. That was really inspiring. Oh, partner, kitang-kita naman talaga namang pinaghahandaan natin ang webinar na ito. Tingnan mo nga si partner Yushel, nagbago pa ng background. Wow talaga.
Nakakalakas ng loob. Super na-touch ako, partner. And yes, thank you for appreciating my background.
That was a goosebump for me nga, mga partners. I'm speechless too. Iba talaga yung mga naibibigay na inspirasyon ng mga taong kagaya nila. Pero ito pa nga, mga partners.
Ano yan?
Meron pa ulit isa.
Hindi pa ako nakaka-move on? Meron na ulit?
Oo naman, partner. Ihanda mo ang sarili mo. Partner! Would you please welcome our next speaker?
With pleasure, partners. I really know this person.
So, Mr. Manuzan, the stage is yours.
Magandang araw po sa ating lahat. Ako po si Sir AJ Manuzon from San Miguel National High School. Ako po ay graduate ng AB Philosophy sa Adamson University. At si Joseph po, aking estudyante last year, nag-chat po siya sa akin kung po pwede daw po ako magbigay ng konting reflection sa tema natin na professionalism. Oo nga naman, ano nga bang professionalism? Pwede sa unang tingin, sa unang dinig, parang ang bigat, parang ang lalim, parang ang lawak, parang ang hirap intindihin. Pero kung papababawi natin at titingnan natin yung salitang professionalism, dalawang bagay lang po ang aking naisip. Una, be a person. Being a professional is admitting that you are a person. Kasi ang problema po sa atin, kadalasan, nakakalimutan natin na tao tayo. Ang pinanghahawakan po natin ay yung ating estado. Teacher ako, doktor ako, engineer ako. Eto ako. Nakakalimutan natin na before ka maging engineer, before tayo maging doktor, before tayo maging teacher, before tayo maging sino man, tayo muna ay tao. Ilang beses ko po nararanasan yon. Ilang beses po ako nakakita ng mga taong may kakayanan, taong may say, may karapatang magsalita sa lipunan, na kung makiharap sa tao, kala mo kung sino. Nawawala sa sarili nila na sila ay tao. Nakakalimutan, ang pinahahawakan nila yung estado nila. At the end of the day, hindi estado ang titingnan sa'yo ng tao, kundi yung pagiging tao mo. And being a person is admitting that you can also make mistakes, na ikaw mismo ay nagkakamali. Hindi porket teacher tayo, hindi porket doktor tayo, hindi porket ganito tayo, wala na tayong karapatang magkamali. Kaya nangyayari sa atin is natatakot tayong umamin na tayo ay nadapa. Sa ating pagkadapa, doon tayo natututo. At kapag hindi mo inaming nadapa ka, paano ka matututo? Paano tayo matututo? Hinahayaan kasi natin minsan na mairal o umiral yung pride natin. Hinahayaan natin na lumaki yung ulo natin. Madalas tayo nagtatago sa isang maskara na malakas tayo. Kaya nga yung Warrior is a Child na kanta is usong-uso or patok na patok kasi alam natin na sa maskara ng pagiging teacher, sa maskara ng pagiging doktor, sa maskara ng pagiging engineer, sa maskara ng pagiging sino man, ay merong isang tao na nasasaktan din. Being a professional is being a person and admitting that you are a person. Secondly, being with the person. Ang pagiging professional daw po ay pagiging pagkakatuto na marunong ka din makisama sa ibang tao. Pakikisama. Yan po ang laging tinuturo sa akin ng aking tatay. Makisama ka kahit saan ka pumunta. Naka-online class po kami ngayon sa public school. Yun po ang aking tinuturuan. Online class. Ang tinuturo ko pa ay philosophy of human person. Sinasabi ko sa mga bata, yung mga simpleng bagay, wag na natin gawing komplikado. Yung mga madadadali, padaliin na natin. Yung may hirap, wag na natin pahirapan. Kasi sabi ko sa kanila, at the end of the day, hindi nyo matatandaan lahat ng tinuro ko. At the end of the day, yung mga dinidiscuss ko, hindi ninyo matatandaan. Tatandaan ninyo kasi nag-e-exam, nagpe-periodical or anything. Pero, pagtapos nun, wala na. Pero ano matatandaan ninyo? Ano ang di nyo makakalimutan? Kung paano ko kayo pinakisamahan. Di ba ganun din naman? Yung teacher na hindi mo kakalimutan ngayon, is yung teacher na tumulong sa'yo, yung teacher na nakakwentuhan mo, yung teacher na nag-alala sa'yo. Yun ang di mo makakalimutan. Yung teacher na tinuring ka bilang isang tao din. Hindi bilang isang estudyante lang. Ang tingin sa'yo ay tao din, nakakaramdam din. Minsan kasi, kapag professional tayo, nawawala sa sarili natin na yung kaharap natin, yung kinakausap natin ay tao din, nakakaramdam, nasasaktan. Kaya nga mapapansin mo kapag may patay, kapag yung tao marunong makisama, marami nakikipaglibing, marami nakikilamay, maraming umaatin sa burol. Bakit? Nakisama. Nagmahal ng kanyang kapwa-tao. Hindi inaangat ang kanyang sarili, kundi binaba para pantay-pantay silang tao. Mahirap makisama sa taong mas mababa sa iyo. Sa taong wala namang say sa lipunan. Madaling makipag-usap o makisama sa mayor, sa mga politiko, sa mga may posisyon. Pero mas mahirap makisama sa mababa yung estado sa lipunan. Mahirap, pero doon mo makikita ang pagiging professional mo. Kasi kapag doon ka nakisama, nakikita mo din yung sarili mo sa kanila. Tatapusin ko po ang aking maiksing talk sa isang kwento. Minsan daw po may isang bata naglalakad, meron siya nakitang nakalagay na karatula, dogs for sale. Sumili po siya dun sa bakod. Nakita niya yung lalaking may-ari ng mga aso. Hinihimas yung nanay ng aso. Labrador po yung breed, Labrador. Hinihimas. Tinawag ng bata yung may-ari. Sabi niya, Kuya, magkano po yung aso? Sabi niya, iho, baka hindi mo kayanin kasi medyo may kamahalan. Tapos yung kamay ng bata, nilagay niya sa kanyang bulsa, humugot ng pera at meron siyang inabot na piso. Sabi niya, Kuya, pwede po ba tong piso? Gusto ko lang po makita yung mga tuta. De tatawa-tawa yung may-ari ng aso. Syempre natuwa kasi merong isang bata na gusto makita yung kanyang mga alaga. Ginawa niya, pumaswet, lumabas yung 3 tuta. Kasi yung nanay katabi niya, lumabas yung 3 tuta. At tuwang-tuwa yung bata, tuwang-tuwa sa kanya nakita. Mamaya-maya, meron pang maingay doon sa loob ng kulungan. May dahan-dahang lumalabas na isang tuta. Iika-ika, kasi putol yung isang paa. Nanlaki yung mata ng bata. Nanlaki. At lalong slubsob ang kanyang sarili doon sa pagitan ng mga pader at sinabi niya, Kuya, kahit yan na lang, pipilitin kong bilhin yung aso na yan. Yung putol yung paa ng aso na yan. Sabi nung kuya, bakit yan? Ang pangit niyan. Hindi po pwedeng tumakbo yan. Hindi mo makakasama maglaro yan. Hindi nga makakatalon yan eh. Bakit yan? Tinaas ng bata yung kanyang pantalon at nakita nung nagbebenta ng aso na yung bata ay meron palang prosthetic legs lang. Putol din pala yung paa ng bata. Nakarelate yung bata doon sa tuta. Mga kapatid, ang pagiging professional ay pag-amin na ikaw ay tao. Ikaw ay nagkakamali. Ikaw ay nadatapa. Ikaw ay hindi laging perpekto. At kapag inamin mo sa sarili mo, nakikita mo din doon sa ibang tao na sila ay nagkakamali, na sila ay nadadapa din. Naiintindihan mo sila. Magandang araw po sa ating lahat. Ingat po and God bless. Salamat po.
Ayan, naliwanagan na naman tayong lahat. At salamat ng marami, Mr. Manuzon. Thank you for the wonderful words of wisdom, eka nga nila.
Tama ka, partner. Iba talaga ang mga speakers natin ngayon. Yung tipong down na down ka, tapos marinig mo nga yung mga words of wisdom nila. Tuloy ang buhay.
Mukhang nag-e-enjoy kayong dalawa dyan, mga partners. Let's proceed to our lesson na. Handa na ba kayo, partner?
Okay, for the introduction of our lesson for today, may I call on this excellent lawyer that has given us the chance to be with her today, Attorney Cherry Pagtakunan. A round of applause, please.
Thank you so much, Mom and Sir. Hello everyone. The topic that we are discussing to you is all about the basic laws on professionalization of teaching. We are going to talk about the Presidential Decree number of 1006 was signed into law on September 22 in 1976 by the then Philippine President Ferdinand E. Marcos. The revolutionized degree of teaching profession under the Ministry of Education. So let's start with begin in Presidential Decree number of 1006, a degree of professionalizing the teaching profession. For the formulation of the degree was guided by at least two sections. All educational institutions shall be supervision of the sections and regulation by the state, and that the state shall establish and maintain a complete etiquette and integrated system of education relevant to the goal of development. In addition, for the composition of NBT, first is the Department of Education and Culture. The second is Civil Service Commission Chair. As a Department of Education and Culture was being towards ensuring that the educational institution inculcate in the stud entry the love of the country, teach the duties of citizenship, and develop moral character, personal discipline, and scientific, technological, and vocational efficiency. It has become necessary to regulate the teaching profession, just like engineering, medicine law practice, and the others profession. So now, let's moving on for the section number 5 under the PD 1006. For the first one, passing rate was a general average of 70% in all subjects, with no rating below 50% in any subjects. For number 2, report of the results of examination is within 150 days after the last day of the examination. For the third, certificates are issued to those who have passed the CSC or DEC administered examination. For the fourth, certificate is also issued to those teachers who have permanent appointment under the Magna Carta for public school teachers. So now for the section number 6 of PD 1006. Requirements submitted by the applicants for teacher examinations are screened by offices of the Civil Services Commission and Department of Education and Culture. In addition, for Section 6, PD 1006. First is, except those who have been engaged in teaching as herein, defined for at least 5 years in school in the Philippines, not organized exclusively for nationals. Siyempre, bilang isang guro na gustong maging professional, kailangan mo munang magkaroon ng ensayo through at least in 5 years dito sa Pilipinas. Hindi nila ina-accept yung meron kang practice in other country pero hindi nila ina-accept yun. Kundi kailangan mong magkaroon ng ensayo dito sa Pilipinas para yung knowledge na maaari nilang ipamahagi sa iba is dito nakuha sa Pilipinas. For the second question, that he is a good moral character. Siyempre, kailangan mong maging magandang influencer. Kailangan mong magkaroon ng magandang pagtuturo sa kanila kung ano yung karapat-dapat bilang isang guro sa kanila. Kasi once na nabit din nila yung ganitong sitwasyon sa'yo, mai-share din nila yung knowledge nila and yung good character nila sa iba. For the third, that he is free from any physical and moral defect which will incapacitate him to render efficiency service. Siyempre, dapat alam mo yung kailangan mong ibigay sa kanila, maging open-minded ka sa kanila. Siyempre, kailangan mo ring ituro sa kanila kung ano yung magandang serbisyo para sa kanila. At ikaw din yung magiging daan nila para makamit din nila yung pangarap nila in future.
So, thank you for sharing with us, Attorney Pagtakunan. And wow, partner, sumasideline ka pala. So, we know that you're both busy person. Katulad ngayon, nandito ka at MC today. So, thank you for informing us about basic laws of professionalization of teaching.
And we don't just stop there. Again, we have a very important guest today. Partner!
Yes, partner! Would you please joining me in welcoming the no-nonsense, Mrs. Victorio? A round of applause.
Hello, good morning, good day, a blessed day to all of you. I'm Ma'am Catherine C. Victorio, 40 years old, and nag-start ako mag-aral dyan sa College of Immaculate Conception. I took up Bachelor of Elementary Education. Pero pinalad din ako na maging isa sa mga scholars ng CHED during that time na binuksan nila yung kanilang pilot program na BST o Bachelor of Science in Teaching. So, piling-pili lang yung mga estudyante noon, 40 student each college or university dyan sa Nueva Ecija. At isa ako sa mga pinalad na makasama doon. Pero hindi ako nakatapos noon kasi nga hindi sapat yung scholarship na meron ako para maipagpatuloy ko yung aking pag-aaral. So I decided na mag-stop muna and maghanap ng work at napunta nga ako dito sa Bulacan. Pero pinalad naman ako na pagdating ko dito sa Bulacan, nagkaroon ako ng ilang mga tutorials. And then, isa sa mga bata na tinuturuan ko noon ay medyo may kaya sa buhay. At yung kanyang father ay nag-offer sa akin na pagtapusin ako ng pag-aaral dahil ilang taon na lang naman ang kulang ko. So, yun na nga. Dahil doon nakatapos ako ng pag-aaral dito sa Santo Rosario Sapang Palay College, dito sa City of San Jose del Monte, Bulacan. And ngayon, isa na akong public school teacher. Nagtuturo ako sa Minuyan Elementary School. Teacher 3 na ako and masasabi ko na masarap, masaya, na mahirap ang pagtuturo. Ganun pa man, patuloy pa rin ako nag-aaral. Kumuha ko ng aking master's degree sa Polytechnic University of the Philippines, Master in Educational Management. Meron na akong 42 units at kulang na lang ako ng thesis. At the same time, ay isa ako din sa napili ngayon na scholar ng NCCA PSEP sa kanilang program na Graduate Diploma in Teaching the Arts. So, naka-enroll din ako ngayon sa La Consolacion University at patuloy na nag-aaral. Para sa akin, ang pag-aaral ay masaya, enjoyable, kasi marami kang natututunan. And as a teacher, naniniwala ako na hindi ka dapat huminto sa pag-aaral. Teaching is a continuous learning for me. Kasi the more na marami kang natututunan, the more na marami kang may o-offer na bago sa iyong mga learners. At kapag mas marami kang offer na bago, mas malaki yung possibility na maging effective ka as a teacher dahil mas marami kang tools, strategies na pwede mong magamit sa mga bata. Kasi ang mga estudyante natin, iba-iba ang ugali, iba-iba yung culture na kanilang kinagisnan. At bawat isa sa kanila, kailangan mong ma-meet yung needs na yun. And kapag kulang ka ng knowledge, hindi mo basta-basta makakayanan na maibigay sa kanila yung kanilang mga pangailangan. So, kailangan mong mag-aral. Kaya, natutuwa ako kasi meron akong pagkakataon na makapagpatuloy ng pag-aaral. Kahit na nagtuturo na ako, ay nag-aaral pa din ako. So, ang teaching para sa akin, hindi siya simpleng profession. Hindi siya isang simpleng trabaho. Isa itong bokasyon na kailangan ng puso, ng buong puso. Kasi once na teacher ka na, hindi pwede yung napipilitan ka lang sa mga ginagawa mo. Kasi nagre-reflect yun sa iyong performance. So as a teacher, importante na mahal mo yung trabaho mo, mahal mo yung ginagawa mo. Kapag ka ganun, mas madali mong masosurvive yung mga challenges, malalampasan yung mga pagsubok na dumadating. Kasi ang pagtuturo, lalo na ngayon, hindi na siya napakasimpleng bagay. May hirap, especially kapag nagkasabay-sabay ang mga paperworks, mga reports, tapos nagtuturo ka pa, gumagawa ka pa ng mga teaching materials, naghahanda ka ng lesson. Napakahirap pagsabay-sabayin. Pero sabi ko nga, kapag mahal mo yung ginagawa mo, pag yung puso mo nandito sa profession na to, walang imposible na hindi mo kayang gawin. So, maraming challenges as a teacher na napagdaanan ako. Nandyan yung hindi ako masyadong confident humarap sa mga estudyante, maging sa mga co-teachers ko. Pero sa pagdaan ng panahon, natutunan ko na harapin yun. Dahil nga, nagpatuloy ako sa pag-aaral ko. Kapag kasi marami kang natututunan, mas nagiging confident ka na sa sarili mo. Mas tumataas yung level ng confidence mo. Kapag ganun, kapag confident ka na sa mga ginagawa mo, mas nagiging productive ka, mas nagiging effective ka kapag humaharap ka sa mga bata at sa mga tao. So, napaka-importante na magpatuloy tayo. And sabi ko nga kanina, once na nag-decide ka na maging teacher, hindi pwede yung napipilitan ka lang. Hindi pwede yung dahil gusto lang ng pamilya mo o gusto lang ng nanay at tatay mo o kaya naman ay gusto mo lang kasi yung mga barkada mo ay ito din yung kurso na kinukuha. So kapag ganun yung mga reasons mo, pwedeng hindi ka maging successful as a teacher. Siguro, mas mahalaga na i-check natin yung ating puso. Ano ba yung reason natin, bakit natin pinapasok yung profession na to? Unang-una, hindi ka yayaman as a teacher. Mas madalas, abonado ka pa. Especially sa mga school supplies, teaching materials, sa pagpapaganda ng room. Kaya, hindi mo pwedeng maging batayan yung sweldo ng teacher para pasukin mo ito. Kasi hindi ka yayaman dito. Dapat i-check natin yung heart natin. Katulad ko, nung pasukin ko to, tinanong ko yung sarili ko, ano ba yung dahilan ko, bakit ko gusto magturo. And sabi ko, gusto kong maging part ng buhay ng mga bata. gusto kong maging bahagi ng kanilang tagumpay, at gusto kong maging parte nung pag-abot nila sa kanilang mga pangarap. At sa ngayon, masasabi ko na kahit teacher 3 pa lang ako, successful na ako as a teacher. Kasi yung mga unang-unang estudyante na hinawakan ko as a grade 6 teacher ay mga professional na din ngayon. Nakagraduate na sila at may mga magagandang buhay. Meron ng doktor, may engineer, may nurse, meron na ring mga teacher na katulad ko, at nakatutuwang isipin na bumabalik sila sa iyo at nagpapasalamat. Nagsasabi na, "Ma'am, thank you po." Kasi kahit po medyo masungit kayo, pero yung pagdidisiplina at lahat ng tinuro nyo po sa amin ay nagamit po namin. At yun yung nakakataba ng puso. Para sa akin, wala man akong masyadong maraming pera. Pero kapag narinig ko yun dun sa mga estudyante ko, parang ako na yung isa sa pinakamayamang tao sa buong mundo. Kaya para sa inyo na mga nag-aaral pa lang ngayon ng education, i-check natin yung puso natin. Kasi importante na nag-decide tayo with our heart, hindi lang dahil sa impluwensya ng ibang tao. Kung hindi dahil talagang gusto natin yung profesyon na to. Kapag ganun, walang imposible na hindi natin kayang harapin. So, salamat sa inyo sa pag-invite sa akin. Sana kahit kaunti, meron ako na i-share na maganda sa inyo at maaari nyo magamit sa inyong pag-aaral. Last word ko lang, sana maging successful din kayo sa pinili nyong larangan at maging effective na instrument sa pagkatuto ng mga bata. Dahil napakahalaga, especially ngayon, na may hinaharap tayong iba't ibang problema sa ating bansa at sa buong mundo. Ang mga teacher, napakalaki ng role na gagampanan para yung ating mga kabataan ngayon ay magkaroon ng maayos na direksyon sa kanilang buhay. And with that, God bless you all and thank you.
Very well said, Mrs. Victoria. Plenty of food for thoughts today. We thank you for the insights. Mrs. Victoria, busog na busog ako, mga partner.
Ano ba ako bigla? Shucks!
Dati na partner. By the way, that was only the beginning. At last, for the first basic clause of professionalization of teaching, we have 2 lawyers to discuss this and make it clear. It is an absolute honor to introduce to you on the stage Attorney Santiago and Attorney De La Cruz. A round of applause, please.
Thank you very much to our dear moderators. Good day, everyone. Today we are going to talk about the Republic Act of 7836, an act to strengthen the regulation and supervision of the practice of teaching in the Philippines and prescribing licensure examination for the teachers and for other purposes. In Article 1, Section 1, this act shall be known as the Philippine Teachers Professionalization Act of 1994 because this was signed on December 16, 1994. On Section 3, we have the objectives. First, the promotion, development, and professionalization of teachers and the teaching profession. Second is the supervision and regulation of the licensure examination. We also have the Section 4, the definition of terms, where the term board, it refers for the board for professional teachers duly established and constituted under this act, while the term commission, it refers for the Professional Regulation Commission. On Article 2, we have the board for the professional teachers. Section 5, the composition and the creation of the board. This is where the commission are choosing the list of nominees for a board of members. But of course, hindi pwedeng basta-basta lang kami mili doon. Dapat yung mga tao mapipili doon ay nagpo-possess ng qualification na required para sa Board of Members na under sa Section 8 na di-discuss natin mamaya. Sa Section 6, duties and function of the board. Maraming function and duties and responsibilities ng isang Board of Members. Ang ilan sa mga yon ay first, they are the one who are regulating and supervising the registration for the licensure examination, and they are also one of those people who are making sure that everything about the licensure examination are under control and okay. In short, their responsibilities, duties, and functions are very important. Then we have the section 8, the duties, the qualification of a board member. Na nabanggit natin kanina, ano-ano ba ang mga qualifications na dapat meron ng isang tao para siya ay maging board of member para sa licensure examination. First ay, dapat siya ay citizen and resident of the Philippines. Second, that person should be at least 35 years of age, and dapat meron siyang degree ng Bachelor of Arts or Science. Pero, mas malaking advantage kung siya ay may master's or doctorate degree in education. Then, dapat siya ay licensed teacher o meron siyang lisensya bilang guro. And then, dapat siya ay professional teacher in the active practice of teaching profession for at least 10 years. Pag meron siya ng mga qualification na yon, ay maaari siyang maging board of member. Then, we have the section 10, the supervision of the board and custodian of its record, na kung saan ay si commission, siya ang nagsusupervise at saka nagko-control kay board of members. In short, lahat ng documents na hawak ni board of members regarding sa licensure examination, dapat lahat yon ay inire-report niya at saka sinasubmit kay commission, which is si commission ay yung nakakataas sa kanila. Then we have the section 12, the removal of the board member, na kung saan any board member and the chairman, pwede silang maalis by the President of the Philippines upon the recommendation of the Commission by neglect of duty. But of course, bago sila maalis, ay kailangan itong dumaan sa legal process and investigation, na kung saan meron silang time to defend themselves at pwede nilang sabihin kung ano yung talagang mga reasons nila, because lahat naman yun ay dumadaan sa due process and legal process. Hindi naman pwedeng alisin na lang natin sila kaput, kasi may kasabihan nga tayo na a person is not guilty until it's proven. Then we have the Article 3, the examination and registration. In Section 13, we have the examination, registration, and license required, na kung saan ang aplikante para sa professional teacher ay required na mag-undergo ng written examination. We have Section 14, the scope of examination, na kung saan if ikaw ay elementary level, it has two parts, your examination. First is the professional education and then the general education. Kung ikaw naman ay secondary level, madadagdagan lamang ito ng isa, which is the field of specialization for your major subjects. Then, Section 15, the qualification requirements of applicants. Of course, may mga qualification requirements din para sa applicant. Ano-ano ba yun? First, you should be a citizen in the Philippines, at least 18 years of age, in good health and good reputation, with high moral values, has not convicted in any crime. Then, dapat graduate ka sa school, university, or college kung saan recognized to ng government. Kasi may mga instances na kung saan ang school ay hindi naman pala siyang permit by the government, kaya hindi credited yung mga nag-graduate doon. Then we have Section 16, the report of the results of the examination, na kung saan after natin mag-exam ng licensure examination, nakukuha natin ang result within the 120 days. Then we have Section 17, the issuances of certificate and the registration of the license of the professional license, na kung saan after mong makapasa ng board exam, magkaroon ng license, after 5 years may expired ang iyong license, then you have to renew it, and you will have to pay more or less 500 pesos if you renew it in time. But of course, mas mag-i-increase yun pagka nagkaroon ng penalty. Then after mong ma-renew yun, after 3 years may expired na ulit to, so kailangan mo namang i-renew, pero hindi na natin kailangan mag-take ng exam, we just have to pay for it. Then, lastly, we have the Section 23, the revocation of the certificate of registration, suspension of the practice of the teaching profession, and the cancellation of temporary or special permit. Na kung saan si board ay may power siya, kagaya ni commission, na i-cancel o alisin yung registration ng isang aplikante kung yung applicant na yun ay nakagawa ng hindi maganda, or lumabag siya sa mga rules and regulation na meron ang licensure examination. And that's it for today, guys. I hope you learn a lot from me, and thank you for listening. Stay safe and God bless. And Ms. Faustino will discuss to you about the Article 4 and the Article 5 of this Republic Act 7836. Thank you, everyone. God bless.
Hello everyone, welcome to today's session. In continuation to Ms. Santiago's lecture, which is about the Republic Act Number 7836, also known as the Philippine Teachers Professionalization Act of 1994, we are going to talk about the provisions relative to the practice of teaching profession under the Article 4 of the said law. Now, when we say provision, it pertains to a condition or a requirement in a legal document which is related to the practice of the teaching profession. Let's start with Section 27, Inhibition against the practice of the teaching profession. Except as otherwise allowed under this Act, no person shall practice or offer to practice the teaching profession in the Philippines or be appointed as teacher to any position calling for a teaching position without having previously obtained a valid certificate of registration and a valid professional license from the Commission. This simply means that if you are not a licensed professional teacher and you do not have a valid certificate of registration, you are not allowed to practice the teaching profession here in the Philippines. Section 28, Penal Provisions, wherein kapag sinabing penal, it is the prescribing of punishments to certain offenders. Any person who practices the teaching profession in the Philippines without being certified in accordance with the provisions of this Act, who represents or attempts to use as his own certificate of registration that of another, who gives any false or fraudulent evidence of any kind to the board or any member thereof in obtaining a certificate of registration as teacher, who impersonates any registrant of the same and different name, who uses a revoked or suspended certificate of registration, who in connection with his name otherwise assumes, uses, or advertises any title or description tending to convey or conveys the impression that he is a teacher without holding a valid certificate, and anyone who violates and who abets the violations of any of the provisions of this Act shall be punishable by a fine of not less than 5,000 pesos nor more than 20,000 pesos, and imprisonment of nor more less than 6 months nor more than 5 years, or both at the discretion of the court. Lahat ng mga nabanggit kong tao, sila yung mga punishable by this law. Section 30, Implementing Guidelines. The board shall formulate and adopt the necessary guidelines for the effective implementation of the provisions of this Act within 60 days of its approval. Sa madaling salita, ang board ay kinakailangang bumuo ng kailangang patnubay upang epektibong maipatupad ang batas na ito. The board shall submit to both Committees on Education, Arts, and Culture and the Committees on Civil Service and Professional Regulation of the Senate of House of Representatives copies of the implementing rules and guidelines within 30 days after its promulgation. Dito naman, ang board ay kinakailangang magsumite ng mga kopya ng implementing rules and guidelines sa loob ng 30 araw matapos itong ipahayag. Any violation of this section shall render the official or officials concerned reliable under Republic Act Number 6713, otherwise known as the Code of Conduct and Ethical Standards for Public Officials and Employees, and other pertinent administrative and or penal laws. Section 31, Transitory Provision. Ang lahat ng mga nanunungkulang guro sa kapwa pampubliko at pribadong sektor na hindi sertipikado bilang mga profesional na guro ayon sa batas na ito ay bibigyan ng 5 taong pansamantalang mga sertipiko, provided, however, that the board examination for teachers shall still be administered by the Civil Service Commission and the Department of Education, Culture, and Sports for the year 1995. Section 32 Separability Clause. Sa anumang kadahilanan, kapag idineklarang unconstitutional o invalid ang aplikasyon ng anumang seksyon o provision ng act na ito sa sinumang tao, walang ibang section o provision ang dapat na maapektuhan. Section 33 Repealing Clause. All laws, presidential decrees, executive orders, rules and regulations, or parts thereof inconsistent with the provisions of this act are hereby repealed or modified accordingly. Ibig sabihin, ang lahat ng mga nabanggit na hindi naaayon sa mga probisyon ng batas na ito ay tinanggal o nabago ng naaayon. Section 34 Effectivity Clause. Ang batas na ito ay magkakabisa pagkalipas ng 15 araw kasunod ng kumpletong paglalathala sa opisyal na gazette o sa 2 pahayagan ng pangkalahatang sirkulasyon. That would be all. Thank you.
Thank you, Attorney Santiago and Attorney De La Cruz. That was an eye-opening clarifications of Presidential Decree number 1002. Partners, can you recall what they said?
Presidential Decree number 1002 is like the ocean.
Huh? Ocean? Bakit?
Deep.
Naku, ganyan ang napapala ng mga hindi nakikinig. Partners, alam nyo na ha?
For a motivational speech, palalakasin niyang muli ang loob natin at magbibigay ng kanyang karanasan sa pagtuturo. Please welcome Mrs. Aguilar.
So we are here preparing ourselves in this noble profession, a teacher. We know that everyone can teach, but not everyone is a teacher. Being a professional is a very different kind of thing. Being professional is someone who displays high levels of expertise and efficiency. Meaning to say, education. Education is very important requirement to be a professional. We have to be educated first to become a professional. But how? What it is to become a professional or being a professional? Igniting spirit of professionalism as we motivate and empower ourselves to become professional. Now we will focus on these two, the empowerment and motivation. Okay. To become professional, it is important to empower ourselves. But how? Through motivation. And motivating ourselves through empowerment. What is empowerment? Empowerment is becoming or the process of becoming stronger, more confident in life. But how? Through motivation. But what is motivation? Motivation is a reason to act or behave in a particular way. That's why you're empowering yourself through that reasons. And you are motivating yourself because you have that empowerment. You have that confidence. You are strong enough to be motivated to do something, to achieve something. Now, let's start with why. Why? Why is not just a question. Why is giving yourself a reason. Let there be a reason for something. Sabi nga sa isang commercial, para kanino ka bumabangon. Ibig sabihin, meron kang purpose, meron kang reason kung bakit mo ginagawa ang isang bagay. Now, it is important to give meaning in what we are doing. If you are a student, if you are already a professional, it is important that we have this reason, this purpose, na pangahawakan natin hanggang dulo. Because having these reasons will uncover the true meaning and inspiration for ourselves. We know that a lack of purpose can affect our self-worth. And self-worth is very important in pursuing our journey. But not all people have this why at the beginning. Maybe in the middle, maybe in the end of her or his career. Tsaka pa lang niya malalaman kung ano yung purpose niya. May mga ganyan. But what is important, whether we are 100% sure sa why natin, is that we have a decision. Make a decision. Ako personally, hindi naman choice ko to ang maging teacher, a professional teacher. I'm a graduate of psychology, a licensed psychometrician, but now I am here. At unti-unti, doon ko palang nalalaman yung aking purpose. Kung bakit ako nandito. But one thing is for sure, that I make a decision. This is my decision to become a teacher. And with that decision, I set my goals. I will pursue this profession. Okay, it is important to make a decision and set your goals. Okay, next, having a discipline and responsibility is very important in igniting our spirit of professionalism and preparing ourselves to become a professional. Discipline is obeying rules. Discipline is accepting the punishment of disobeying rules. Okay? But, ano ba talaga discipline? Discipline ito ay mga bagay na ginagawa natin na ayaw nating gawin o maaring ang mga bagay na hindi natin ginagawa kahit gusto natin gawin. Kasi nga, disiplinado ka. Darating yung mga pagkakataon, magkakaroon tayo ng mga scenario sa ating buhay na kahit ayaw natin gawin, itutuloy pa rin natin dahil kailangan. And because we have that discipline and responsibility. Ang sabi nga, discipline is a bridge between goals and accomplishment. At yung disiplina at responsibilidad, hindi lang natatapos yan. Pag na-achieve mo ng goal mo, magpapatuloy yan lalo. Okay? At lagi ko nga sinasabi doon sa mga estudyante ko at the beginning of our class, these two are my rules. The discipline and responsibility. Because if you have discipline, hindi ka na masyadong igagay. Alam mo na yung tama at mali. And if you are responsible, kahit ikaw, hindi naman, sabi ko nga sa kanila, hindi lahat ng gumagraduate, matatalino. Pero lahat yan, disiplinado at responsable. Bakit? Kaya ka nakapasa kasi nagpasa ng mga requirements yan. Gumawa yan ng mga pinagagawa ng mga guro. Sumunod yan sa rules ng eskwelahan. Kaya napakahalaga nitong discipline and responsibility. Okay? And being professional, we took oath. And that oath contains our discipline and responsibilities of being a professional. Self-confidence is attractive. It is a skill that can be learned. So the best thing that woman can learn is self-confidence. So a man. But how important self-confidence is. A strong self-image and self-confidence is the foundation of all great achievements. And the opposite is true. Nothing can hold us back but our own insecurities. Okay, I remember my classmate in college. Hindi siya nakapasa doon sa aming major subject. Bakit? Kasi nahiya siya mag-report. She prepared something, but she is not confident enough to present in front of people yung report na ginawa niya. Sayang, di ba? At ito rin yung lagi ko sinasabi sa akin mga estudyante. Kung hindi kayo mag-perform dahil sa hiya, sayang. Hindi kayo dadaling sa malayo ng hiya. Kung nahiyaman kayo, gawin nyo pa rin. Bakit? Papasok dito yung responsibility. Responsibility yung bilang student na mag-perform. Gawin nyo. At yung hiya, pagkatapos nun ng klase o ng isang performance, tapos na yun. Di naman naalalahanin yan lahat ng tao. Ikaw na lang sa sarili mo makakaalala na. At ang tanong, paano mo dadalhin yun? Kaya nga mahalaga, magkaroon tayo ng self-confidence. Ng mataas na self-image. Dahil tayo lang din ang makakapagpapatalo sa ating sarili. Okay? And sabi nga, doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. Alam natin yung failure part yan ng ating journey. Pero ano yung maaring mas magpapababaksak sa atin? It is the doubt. Hindi doubt. Okay? Because doubt, pagdududa mo sa sarili, kawalan mo ng belief sa iyong sarili, hindi mo nagagawin yung isang bagay pag may doubt. Unlike failure, failure means you try. At least you try and you learn something. But doubting yourself is worse than trying and fail. Okay? So doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. Hindi mo malalaman is mali o tama isang bagay pag di mo sinubukan. And if you fail, at least you try. You learn something. But doubt is a very different thing. Okay? So don't be afraid of failure. Failure is a lesson. It's a stepping stone. Okay? Next one, are you riding the wave of change? Change is constant. Lahat nagbabago. Change is challenges. Change is hindrances. Change is opportunity. But are you riding? Okay? Because there were times that you need to get out your comfort zone. Okay? To serve the wave of changes. I remember no LM ako dapat valedictorian ako. But then, because of the profession of my father, nalipat kami sa malayong lugar. Hindi na ako naging valedictorian. But then, I did not lose hope. Motivated pa rin ako. Sabi ko, may high school pa naman. And, I accepted the reality na ganito yung pamumuhay namin. Okay? Nag-aral pa rin ako mabuti no high school. Mabawi ako kapon. Okay? But then, nung high school, ganun pa rin ang nangyari. I was a third-year student of La Consolacion, and then going to fourth year, nag-transfer uli ako sa ibang lugar. Nawalan ba ako ng pag-asa? That's the changes in my life. It's my dream to be a valedictorian and have a speech on the stage. But it didn't change the way I look at life. Motivated pa rin. Sabi ko, okay lang. Ganun talaga eh. Sa college, siguradong babawi na ako. Kasi sa college, importante yan. Ayan yung magtatakda ng aking career. Diyan ko dapat pag-usayan pa ng husto. Okay? Problems in life, problem din yan, changes din yan. Pumasok kang inspirado, ngayon anong gawin na walang ka ng mahal sa buhay? Financial problem, nagkaroon ka ng sakit, nagkaroon malamang karamdaman yung magulang mo, there's a change in life. But how can you live with that? Are you riding the wave change? Okay? balik tayo dun sa why natin, sa purpose natin. Maiba man yung reasons, pero yung purpose, mahirap pag yun ang nawala. Yung self-confidence. Okay? So, the only boundaries are in our mind. Isipin mo, hindi lang ikaw ang nakakaranas. May ibang tao din, pero sila, ano ginawa nila? Nagpatuloy. They pursue their dreams. Because they already set the goals. They never give up. They are being kind of themselves. Like, magpapahinga lang, pero hindi matagal. Okay? So, the only boundaries are in our mind. Boundaries are limitless. Restrictions is only in our mind. And the last thing that is important is to believe. Who? Where? When? Okay? So it is important to believe in ourself. Dating panahon wala maniniwala sa iyo kahit magulang mo, mahal mo sa buhay, kaibigan mo, asawa mo. Dahil pare-parehas naman tayong tao. Pero pag nanatili yung believe mo sa sarili, ang malaking bagay yun para ma-achieve mo ang something. Okay? So it is important to believe. Believe in others. Maniwala ka sa iba. There's no man there is no man in an island. Ibig sabihin, talaga kailangan mo ng tulong na. Diba? At magtiwala din sa kanila. And lastly, believe in God. Mahalaga na sa paglalakbay mo, meron tayong isang pinagkakatiwalaan. Isa na kahit anong mangyari, magiging guide natin. And that is God. Hindi ko alam kung paano ko na-achieve ang lahat ng ito. Being professional, na nung college ako, yung isang dilata sa Pinas, ay aking agahan. Ititira ko ang ilan para pag-uwi ko sa lunch. Meron akong lunch. Bibili ako ng tig sa 10 hamburger. Yung tinapay, yung buns, merienda ko. At mamaya, sa hapunan, yung patty ay siyang ulamin ko. Okay lang. Talagang may sacrifice pag gusto nating ma-pursue ang isang bagay. Pero kung naniniwala ka na sa Diyos ang awa, sa tao ang gawa, alam mo yung pinaghihirapan mo magbubuhay. So, it is important to have faith in God or in something. Okay? And always remember that the expert in anything was once a beginner. We all come from scratch. But what is important is we do our part. And God is all behind.
Maraming salamat, Mrs. Aguilar. Parang isang nakakapanghipo or hapo or nakakabusog na wikang yan. Anong masasabi niyo doon, partner?
Masasabi ko ako'y magpapatuloy sa paglaban sa buhay sapagkat tunay ngang maraming dahilan upang tayo manatiling matatag at lumalaban hanggang wakas.
Ako rin, partners. Tunay na magpapatuloy kahit single.
Hala siya!
Speaking of single, wag na kayong malungkot at meron pa tayong bisita dito. Tip mga partners, kapag mag-aasawa kayo, aasawahin nyo yung mga kagaya nila, mga abogado, knowing na mukha kayong mga kriminal.
Tama naman talaga siya, no? Sa ganito ng suot ko na to, magmumukha akong kriminal.
Ang sama mo naman, partner. Nakikita mo ba tong suot ko? Mukha akong kakandidatong mayor.
Partner, ako din. Feel na feel ko ang pagiging first lady ngayon.
Ako, mas bagay ako sa mga matatalinong attorney dyan. Tingnan mo, yung pa-collar ko at nagbago pa talaga ako ng suot at background, di ba? Talaga pinaghahandaan ko yung webinar
Mukha ka
na yan.
partner dyan matalino. Speaking of matalino, mayroon pa ulit tayong bisita ng mga bukod na pinagpala. Mga partners, makinig tayo mabuti. Attorney Tantino and Attorney Reyes. That stage is yours.
So today, we are going to talk about the Presidential Decree number 1006 providing for the professionalization of teachers, regulating their practice in the Philippines and for other purposes. Section 1. Title. This decree shall be known as the Decree Professionalizing Teaching. So it is about the professionalization of the teachers in which they recognize the vital role of teachers in the nation building, and the teacher education will undergo examination. Section 2. Declaration of Policy. So it is all about for the betterment and quality education. Teacher education will undergo examination, and once they pass the examination, they will be qualified for registration as professional teachers and were given the professional teacher certificate. They will be undergo training for their teaching skills to be better and effective. Section 3. Definition of terms. So teaching refers to the profession primarily concerned with the classroom instruction. Teacher refers to all person engaged in teaching at the elementary and secondary levels. Board refers to the National Board for Teachers duly constituted under this decree. Section 4. Creation of the National Board for Teachers. So, binubuo ito ng 4 na sektor at nakapaloob sa 2 bahagi. Yung Secretary of Education and Culture, Chairman, Civil Service Commission, nakapaloob ang mga ito sa co-chairman sa National Board for Teachers, or mas mataas yung rank nila kaysa sa iba sa Board of Teachers, and yung Commissioner, Professional Regulations Commission, and 2 members ay sa member lang sila nakasakop sa National Board of Teachers. Section 5. Power and Duties. They should be able to have the authority to appoint certain duties. Section 6. Qualification requirements for examination applicants. So, every examiner should have or obtain the qualifications and have the requirements in able to be qualified examiners. Section 7. Appointment of examiners. Appointed examiners of the board are recognized authority in teacher education. The examiner shall receive a compensation provided in addition to his salary. Section 8. Scope of the examination. The written test shall be determined by the board.
Okay, so now let us move on to the Presidential Decree number 1006, Section 9 up to Section 19. Section 9. Section 9 is all about ratings in the examination. So for Section 9, para masabi na pasado ka or you pass the licensure examination for teachers, dapat meron ka munang general average na 70% in all subjects, and also wala ka dapat ratings na bababa pa sa 50% in any subjects. Section 10. Report of the result examination. So what does it mean? It simply means that the examiners or the examinee shall report the ratings na nakuha nila by each candidate sa loob na 150 days after the last day of examination. So, kanino nila ipapasyon? Siyempre, sa board. Section 11. Issuance of certificate. For Section 11, ibig sabihin lamang nito is, pag nakapasa ka sa exam or the licensure examination for the teachers, yung board rin mismo ang mag-identify ng eligibility mo at sila rin yung mag-i-issue ng certificate mo para makapag-start ka na bilang isang professional teacher. Next is Section 12. Section 12 is all about registration. For Section 12, yung registration is yung magsaserve as the evidence na you have the rights and privilege of a professional teacher. Maliban na lamang kung yung certificate mo ay nasuspend or cancelled by the board for some reason or for some cause. Next is Section 13. Reissuance of revoked certificates and replacement of lost certificates. Para rito naman sa Section 13, if ever na yung certificate mo is been revoked or lost, bibigyan ka pa rin ng board ng chance na magka-issue ulit ng copy nito whether it is original or duplicate yung gusto mo. Pero mangyayari lamang yun once na nabayaran mo na yung required fee for the certificate. Next is Section 14, Registration by Reciprocity. Once na na-approve na ng board yung certificate, the CSC or the Civil Service Commission shall effect the registration of a teacher na nasa ilalim ng batas sa kahit anumang bansa, local man yan or foreign countries. Section 15, Prohibition. For Section 15, after 3 years na maipatupad ang Presidential Decree number 1006, walang sino man ang dapat ma-engage sa pagtuturo or any actions that define as a teacher, whether in a private or public school, unless meron siyang professional teacher certificate or considered as a professional teacher under this decree. Section 16, Penal Provision. For Section 16, kung sino man ang mahuhuli na nagtuturo or practice teaching without a valid professional teacher certificate ay maaaring maparusahan ng hindi bababa sa 1,000 at hindi higit sa 5,000. Maaari ring makulong sa loob ng 6 na buwan hanggang 2 taon ang sinumang mahuhuli na lumalabag dito. Section 17, Repealing Clause. Ibig sabihin nito ay lahat ng acts, decrees, executive orders, administrative orders, rules and regulations na inconsistent for this decree ay maaaring mabago o matanggal sa pamamagitan ng provision ng decree na ito. Next is Section 18, Separability Clause. So for Section 18, in case naman yung naging provision ng decree na ito ay declared unconstitutional by a competent court, yung ibang provision ay hindi dapat maapektuhan nung naging provision ng decree na ito. And last is Section 19. Section 19 is all about effectivity. This decree or the Presidential Decree number 1006 ay dapat nang ikonsidera na epektibo na simula January 1, 1977.
Palakpakan naman dyan mga partners! Attorneys, thank you for enlightening us with the Republic Act number 7836. Yun pala yun. Wait, medyo nahilo talaga ako.
Ako din, partner. Sinubukan ko namang itagyes, pero sadyang...
Sadya o...
Ay,
mga partners na hindi kayo nakikinig at wala na kayong mga brain cells.
Basta, balita ko, mga gwapings na mga susunod nating mga guests. At excited na ako. Sila ang bukod tanging pinagpala, partners. Gwapo na, brainy pa. Kaya, Attorney Andres and Attorney Flores, welcome to my life. I mean, welcome.
Isang mapagpalang umaga sa ating lahat. So the topic that was given to me is all about the Republic Act 9293, signed on April 21, 2004, begun and held in Metro Manila on Monday, the 28th day of July in 2003. An act amending a certain section of Republic Act number 7836, otherwise known as the Philippine Teachers Professionalization Act of 1994, be enacted by the Senate and House of Representatives of the Philippines in Congress assembled. So in this topic, before we discuss and explain to you what is really Republic Act 9293, this topic is all about the legal process, kung ano nga ba yung mga legal na pamamaraan at proseso, kung paano maging isang ganap na guro ang isang estudyante o nakatatapos o kakapasa lang sa board exam. Malalaman din natin dito yung iba't ibang sitwasyon na dapat gawin. Halimbawa, kung ang guro ay huminto ng pagtuturo at gusto niyang makabalik, ano nga ba yung mga dapat niyang ipasa? So, let's start. Meron itong 7 section which is tatalakayin natin. So, Section 1, Section 15 of Republic Act 7836 is hereby amended as follows. Section 15, Qualification Requirements of Applicants. Ito, dito natin makikita yung qualification and requirements of applicants kung gusto nyo magturo sa preschool, high school, and college. So, qualification requirements of applicants. No applicant shall be admitted to take the examination unless on the date of filing application he shall comply the following requirements. So, a graduate of a school, college, or university recognized by the government possesses the minimum educational qualification as follows. For teachers in preschool, a bachelor degree in early childhood education or its equivalent. For teachers in elementary grade or bachelor degree in elementary education or its equivalent. For teachers in the secondary grades, a bachelor degree in education is equivalent with a major and minor or bachelor degree in arts and science with at least 18 units in professional education. And for teachers of vocational and 2-year technical courses, a bachelor degree in field of specialization or its equivalent with at least 18 units in professional education. So yun yung Section 1. Let's go to Section 2. Section 26 of the same Act is hereby amendment to read as follows. Section 26, Registration Exception. No person shall be engaged in teaching or act professional teacher or defined in this Act whether in preschool, elementary, or secondary level unless the person is duly registered professional teacher. So, sa Section 26 na ito, na nakapaloob sa Section 2, ay sinasabi na walang sino man ang pwedeng magturo hanggat hindi siya nagiging fully or duly registered professional teacher. So, andito natin talakayan yung mga iba't ibang requirement at legal na proseso kung ano nga ba yung dapat gawin ng isang gustong maging guro o magturo. So, a holder of valid certificate of registration and a valid professional license or a holder of valid special temporary permit. Upon approval to the application and payment of the prescribed fees, the certificate of registration and professional license as professional teacher shall be issued without examination as required in this Act to qualify the applicant who is a holder of a certificate eligibility as a teacher issued by the Civil Service Commission and the Department of Education, Culture, and Sports, or a registered professional teacher with the National Board for the Teachers under the Department of Education, Culture, and Sports, pursuant of 2 Presidential Decree to number 1/06. Professional teacher who have not practiced their profession for 5 years. Ito na yung sitwasyon kung paano makakabilik yung isang guro para makapagturo kung huminto siya ng mahabang panahon. So, for the 5 years, shall take at least 12 units of education courses consisting at least 6 units of pedagogy and 6 units of content courses or in the equivalent training number hours to chosen from its list courses to be provided by the Board and Department of Education before they can be allowed to practice their profession in the country. So, those who have failed in licensure examination for professional teachers with a rating of not lower than 5 percentage points for the passing general average rating shall be eligible as para-teacher upon insurance by the Board of 2 years special permit renewable for non-extendable period of 2 years. The para-teacher shall be assigned to areas where the shortage of absence of professional teacher as identified provided by Department of Education and autonomous region for Muslim, Mindanao Education Department for professional teachers, and to the Commission, the special permit shall be indicated to the area assignment of the para sa teacher. A special permit may also issued by the board to a person who has excelled and gained international recognition, is a widely acknowledged expert in his or her respective field of specialization. So, after I discuss the Section 1 and 2, ay tatalakayin pa natin yung Section 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7.
Section 3, Section 31 of the same Act is hereby amended to read as follows. Section 31, Transitory Provision. Special permits with a validity of 3 years and 5 years issued to para-teachers by the Board for Professional Teachers before the effectively of this Act shall be allowed to expire based on the period granted therein, provided that only special permits with a validity of 3 years may be renewed upon expiration for an non-extendable period of 2 years. So, Section 3, the transferring the provision dito is, sa Section 3 is merong rules na sinusunod, like para teachers. From the word para teachers means may taon bago sila bumalik o maging qualified bilang nagtuturo sa labas ng school. Valid ito ng 3 years, but 2 years ang expiration. At ang mahalaga doon, hindi sila extendable. So, let's proceed to section number 4. Section number 4, references to the term Department of Education, Culture and Sports in Section 4A and Section 25, and the term DECS or DEX in Section 20 of the same Act are hereby amended to read as Department of Education and DepEd respectively. So, for section number 4, dito na pag-combine ang tatlong section, Section 4, Section 20 at Section 25, na kung saan sila ay sumasailalim na kung tawagin ay Department of Education. Ito ay accommodate ng culture and sports na ginagamit sa Department of Education. So, for section number 5, separability clause. If for any reason, any section of provision of this Act or the application of such section or provision to any person or circumstance is declared unconstitutional or invalid, no other section or provision of this Act shall be affected thereby. So, for section number 5, from the word itself, separability clause, it means hindi napagsasama o inihiwalay dahil sa section na ito. Walang ibang pwedeng maging affected kasi nga separability or separate in any circumstances. Kaya kapag isang professional na teacher ay na-apply itong section 5, hindi na magiging valid ang isang bagay o ang nagiging reason ng isang situation. For section number 6, repealing clause. All laws, decrees, circulars, administrative orders, rules and regulation, and other insurance which are inconsistent with the provision of this Act are hereby repealed or modified accordingly. So, for section number 6, ito naman ay ang kabaligtaran ng ating explain kanina, which is the separability clause, and the one explaining the repealing clause. We start from the meaning of this. Ito yung pwede natin i-apply isama sa isang situation. We can repeal any rules and regulation and all laws decrees in the section. Let's proceed to section number 7. Effectivity. This is shall take effect upon approved. So, for section 7, when we hear effectivity, our first thought that comes in our mind is positive because we hear effective, which is good. As sa section 7, that is magiging approved. Kung ikaw ay kukuha ng trabaho as a professional teacher at kailangan lahat ng moves, decision, important things is pasok dapat sa section na yon or sa section na ito. So, now we hear all explanation and every detail of section is easy now for us to apply as a future professional teacher. We keep us to knowledge and remember the highlights of our discussion. Hopefully for all listener out there, we give you dependable explanation.
Thank you so much mga Fafas. I mean, attorneys, partner. Tigisa tayo, ginutom ako eh.
Sabi ko sa'yo eh, alam mo namang nakahanda na ang ating kanin dyan.
Ikalma nyo yung mga sarili nyo, guys. Alam nyo bang masyado na yung mga kuwan nyo, ha? So, anong natutunan nyo? Sige.
Ako, natutunan kong kumain lang ng kanin.
Ako, ako natutunan ko talagang makinig ng bongga. Iba talaga.
Diyos ko, alam niyo bang tapos na?
Ano?
Tapos na kayo ng jowa mo. Char!
Isa ka pang masama ang ugali eh.
Palibhasa, walang jowa. Ang ibig sabihin ng Republic Act 9293.
Oh, bakit hindi natin itanong ulit kila attorney? Attorney, pasok!
Oh, tignan mo, isa ka pang fake news eh.
O siya, wala na tayong time. Magpapaalam na tayo sa ating mga viewers at guests. I am so grateful to be part of this webinar. Ang dami kong natutuhan kahit kunyari.
Ayun na nga, we hope that you learned a lot today. And sana napasaya namin ang minsay malulungkot ninyong mga buhay dahil iyon talaga ang aming nais at layunin. Maraming salamat po sa inyo.
Truth! Sana ay marami kayong napulot ng mga salitang panghahawakan nyo kapag nakakaramdam kayo ng panghihina at pagkapagod. Kung ako tatanungin, maraming nasagot sa aking mga katanungan sa aking isip. Kaya sana ay kayo rin.
This is Ariana Julian Cordova.
And I am Usual C. Martinez.
And I am Joseph Neil R. Camargo from College of Education 1B. And we are now signing off. Thank you so much, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.